What's good, everybody? It's your boy Trilogy. Uh, well, I don't know when I'm gonna post this video, but I'm gonna do this video now because it's fresh on my mind and things are going on fresh right now with it. But I don't really speak on like gossipy things that don't have to do like with my life. Like the reason why I use gossip because it's like you're speaking on someone else's personal situation and you don't personally know them and you have no. I'm not gonna say you don't have any stake in their situation, but you just don't really know. So you can't really speak on it because you're not dealing with a primary source. But I kind of am in this situation, and I have some stake. I think we all have some stake. Beef and turkey. Okay. All right. I'm drying my hair right now. Just had a shower. You know what I mean? So lips might be drying up, but don't mind that. Anyway, let's get to this. We're talking about situation right now with Doctor Brother, the Prince, Umar Johnson. And there's a video floating around social media of him blowing up, acting all kind of ignorant, all kind of thug life, like all kind of street nigga, all kind of hot nigga talks, and he's just going off. So a lot of people are confused because they've normally only seen Dr. Umar speaking very intellectually about the issues afflicting the black community, this, that, and the other. But what a lot of people don't realize is there's an undercurrent of that entire movement. There's like a bunch of people who are speaking about the issues in the black community. He just happens to be one of the most popular, if not the most popular dude at this point in time speaking on those issues. So, some of you guys know Brother Polite. Some of you guys may know Tariq Nasheed. Who else? There ain't really that many in terms of the top tier popular names, but we're basically speaking economically about the history and the turmoil that black people have endured in North America, but also the globe, but specifically based on the American perspective. So at this point in time, there's a lot of things that the black community, or this undercurrent of the black community, the black fight, have been trying to figure out and achieve. People call it the conscious movement. I don't know if you've been seeing hashtags like stay woke and stuff like that over the last bit, whether it be the last few years and such. It's just been slowly growing certain hashtags and certain movements. But what this undercurrent of the conscious community, what they do, they really try and dig down to the root of the issue, to the point where when some of them speak on certain truths that they find, they get in trouble, or they actually put their lives at risk. For example, a man like Martin Luther King or a man like uh, Malcolm X would speak on specific issues to the point where he's actually affecting the pockets of the people who are causing those situations, and those people fight back by killing them, stuff like that. So right now, I would say that the conscious community is under attack because they no longer have to depend on mainstream media to spread their message to the world, to the average everyday dude. So I think there's a lot of people who are part of that community who are not really for the benefit and good of Aboriginal people. Let's say that. Let's keep it that way. Aboriginal people. But with the situation with Dr. Umar, he was responding to a brother who was responding to him. The brother is called Seti, General Seti. And the issue basically started. It was, if you know the black media alternative channel, Sanetter, Black News, Senator Studios, all his affiliate channels on YouTube. He's one of the dudes who's been dropping a lot of. He's a platform for a lot of scholars to drop their knowledge. So General Seti is a long time scholar who's been on his channel for a while, but also a newcomer, young Pharaoh, was on Sanetter's channel and was dropping knowledge. Now, this is the thing. When you have all these scholars on your channel dropping knowledge, some of them don't agree. Some of them are actually in opposition to each other. So, the young Pharaoh, brother young Pharaoh Allah, actually, is what his name is, was making a major point that the foundation or the basis for the conscious movement, for many of the conscious movement groups, mostly every single conscious movement group, is based on a system that actually has not been deciphered. So what system is he talking about? The meta nature, Kemet, and the language that is connected to Kemet. If you don't know what Kemet is, we're talking about Egypt. Egyptology is basically the European version of Kemetology, which is just the study of that area of Africa in general, but Egyptology just bases everything within a certain span of like 6,000 years, and they don't really go in or outside of that range. And we can get into that another day, but he basically, Pharaoh, saying that the language that we believe we have deciphered that gives us words like Pharaoh, gives us words like Kemet, and just this ancient Semitic language has never been deciphered for us to even understand it. And they make a lot of valid points. Now, on the opposite side, we have this crew of scholars. They're called the Amun-Ra Squad, and they were basically trying to refute that. So in little videos here and there on their own personal channels as well as Sanetter's channel, they were making these points until everyone realized this is a really hot topic, and Sanetter decided to create a debate. That debate was supposed to go down on the 18th of December. It didn't. I'm not going to really go into that situation, but I'll just say bad business from all sides is why that debate didn't go down. A lot of promotion was done. If you keep up with the undercurrent of the conscious community, you would have seen or heard about that event. If you don't, you're just now seeing this Dr. Umar thing. But basically, from that event going ugly and a bunch of people creating rants and getting angry, Sanetter himself, Pharaoh, Seti, it was basically Pharaoh and Seti to face off against the Amun-Ra Squad. And the Amun-Ra Squad was only going to use two members, one of them Ankh and another dude, I don't remember his name right now. They were going to face off and basically debate the topic of has the meta nature been deciphered. And like I said, there's a lot of implications, because if it hasn't, then a lot of the words and theories and beliefs that a lot of people are holding to their core now when it comes to spirituality, even when it comes to Christianity, when it comes to Judaism, when it comes to a lot of religious systems, is based on the contrast of Egyptology. Like if you study Moses, you understand that Moses grew up in Kemet, and then he freed the people of Israel based on the Bible, right? So all these stories kind of intertwine, and these guys making their claim really it basically was an entire, their claim was in itself was an entire attack on the community. So I think when it didn't go down, it was really ugly. Money was lost for Sinetta and all kind of things, and other scholars were very disappointed, and it became this whole beef thing, and it's still going on right now. So what Dr. Umar, noticing all this, he made a video saying that it's time for us to figure this stuff out. I want all the elders of the community, and when he's speaking about elders, he's speaking about leaders, like popular leaders and conscious speakers, all those I guess, and the elders. it's kind of an ambiguous way to call on a conscious community to come together to have like a conference, but that's what he was attempting to do. So he made that video public, but I guess the timing, and it's pretty clear he was speaking about the situation that had just happened between Senator Pharaoh and Seti, but he didn't mention their names. He was just speaking generally to everybody. We need to come together, da 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 da, and really organize and put together now this economic plan. If you follow him, you know he's always talking about black schools and da da da, and RBG and Pan Africanism and stuff like that. So if you kind of already understand that, then you understand his perspective of why he was trying to bring people together. But I believe General Seti didn't take it the right way. He took it as like an attack personally, as he is an elder himself in terms of his age. He's like 50, so he didn't believe that he needs to listen to like Umar Johnson, who's like 30 something, to come together, and especially when he feels he's been, you know, uh, I guess everyone feels hurt. No, like in this situation, nobody's kind of listening to the other side. Everybody feels like they're the victim. So his response was heavily like "f this nigga," like kind of rhetoric. So it was up for like 2 days, and then I guess Umar was getting a bunch of hits from his peoples to respond, and he did, and that's the video that is now going viral all over social media. So the reason why I'm speaking on it is because I want people to kind of understand where the conscious community is at and what they're actually trying to do, and not to get not to be. I can't even tell you don't be thrown off, because I'm even thrown off, but don't let it give you a distaste in terms of the movement and the fact that we need to still fight for truth and fight to find truth. That these brothers, even though right now they're in the midst of contention, it is, yes, conflated with a lot of their ego, but they are battling for the sake of truth. They are battling for the sake of us, for all of us to know what is correct, what is right when it comes to our history, what is right when it comes to how we should engage each other. Now, a lot of us, we have a lot of preconceived notions of how we should engage each other, but I think a lot of that is based on propaganda. A lot of that is based on religion, which a lot of us don't even agree with. A lot of the conscious community doesn't agree with it. But um, like they'll say the black church this, black church that. I wouldn't consider myself to be part of the conscious community, quote unquote, but I am, right? I'm a black person, and I listen to the information and I try and apply it. But I would closely more consider myself part of the black church. Not religiously, but just because I grew up in a black church, and those people are my elders. I respect them. Even if I don't agree theoretically or with their beliefs or with their methodologies, I still have to respect them as my elders, as the people who've laid the path for me to be able to lay a path for the next generation. Get what I'm saying? So, from that perspective, just want folks to not buy in too deep in terms of the slander that the media will use when it comes to Dr. Umar, and remember that he's actually trying to do good. And in an economy like the United States, money is the ruling force for everything. Like here in Canada, where I live, I guess you can get away with not having to be rich in order to find happiness and to be a leader and to influence people and stuff. But in the United States, those young kids don't listen to you unless you got money, unless you got everything already set up for them to just walk in. So it's difficult to kind of organize and pull things together. You almost always have to depend on the system to fight the system. And that's the entire issue right now, where he's trying to pull the black community together to pull their resources to fight the system. Last thing, there was one more thing I wanted to say about this, but I can't remember right now. It's an ever growing situation. I just don't want people to be discouraged in terms of looking to these men for information. I do have conflicting views in terms of leadership and what it means to be a leader, or what it means to be the leader of the conscious community, if there is one leader, like one the king of consciousness, or you know what I mean, whatever that means. But I just think that at times like this, where we've had movements like Black Lives Matter, and we understand the corruption within that movement itself, and the fact that it's being funded by George Soros and stuff like that. That it, and it really pushes the gay agenda. If you believe there is a gay agenda, Black Lives Matter definitely pushes the gay agenda, especially up here in Toronto. They weren't fighting for no black family, nothing. They were fighting for queer rights. They were fighting for all kind of stuff that has nothing to do with the black family. Um, Finding a stable foundation to reproduce itself. So Black Lives Matter ain't pushing nothing that matters to black people in terms of our lives actually mattering. Um, Pushing feminism, which actually encourages black women to take on the choice of abortion, which is the number one killer of black people. It's not even black on black violence, or I guess you would call that black on black violence. Um, so there's a lot of truths that need to be understood within the black community, and these men are fighting for it. So don't get lost in the sauce. Hold on to the fact that it's truth that we're all searching for. None of us are perfect. Nobody's perfect. Like, I tried not to swear in this video on purpose just to make sure. Well, I don't have to try not to swear. I know how to speak without swearing, but I mean, there's times where I do swear, and oh, this will get me to my last point now. Dr. Umar was swearing a lot in this video, and he's like apologizing for it. But at the same time, this younger generation, they don't really care about swearing the same way my generation and up do. Like, guys my age, in terms of corporate leaders or corporate bosses, are going to be hiring this newer generation. They'll be swearing like crazy on the job. I know they already do. If you're like a stockbroker, these guys swear. They swear on the job. They swear. People swear. It's like swearing is just sounds coming from your vocal cords. Like, stop trying to put all kind of negative, positive cadences on things that can't be by themselves negative or positive. It is the intent behind the words. So his intent is to defend himself against somebody who's also considered a leader and has a strong following, who's attacking him. He didn't call him out when he made his open invitation for everybody to come and meet and have this discussion. I guess Seti took it the wrong way and said, da 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 da, and he responded. So, like, men do that all the time, especially in the conscious community, because we're fighting for truth. And the only thing you could do is use your mouth, speak words. So yeah, it gets ugly, it gets ratchet, it gets grimy. We always hope that it never goes in anywhere further than talk, and yeah, we'll leave it at that. But this younger generation, they respond better to that kind of speech. They honestly do. So, as the older generation, or as people who adhere to righteousness, let go of the swearing thing. The swearing thing has nothing to do with righteousness. You could speak negatively without using one curse word, and a lot of folks who adhere to righteousness do. A lot of people who are like looking down on that video and saying, "How could he be speaking like that?" or da 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 da. A lot of folks just speak negative, just curse without using curse words. People curse without using curse words. And I think that is something that we need to more focus on, the intent behind your language versus the language itself. So yeah, this one's kind of long. I'm gonna cut it. You don't know. Peace.